it is really fun because you do get to express maybe other parts of yourself that you wouldn't express maybe in your real life, you know, and or maybe you're forbidden to act certain ways in your real life. And so to be able to do that on stage or in a film or whatever the medium is really fun. And you get to meet a lot of cool people, and it's sort of like playing, like when you were a kid and you were playing whatever game you were playing, that is what it's like, kind of on a grander scale.
Welcome to the episode of Navigating Rise. Today I have this awesome lady, Deborah Cristobal, on the show. So she's an actress and a fashion designer. I'll let her introduce herself so people can get a better sense of what she does.
Hi everyone, I'm Deborah Cristobal. I'm very excited to be with you today. And I am an actress and also a fashion designer. And I make really fun fashions using fabrics that I find at the thrift store, or sometimes I take apart clothes, or people give me fabrics. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. So you're doing two things: you're an actress and fashion designer. Which one is your main thing? Which one is your second thing? Just out of curiosity.
Well, gosh, I'd say I probably do my creating of fashion more often. I love them both because I can express myself creatively using both of them. But I would say I go to thrift stores probably a lot more often than I'm acting, and I'm always on the hunt for something really fun and something I can take apart or something I can refit because maybe it's really old lady looking and it's all baggy and long and really ugly, and I can fit it and cut it up and make it look really cute. And it's just a lot of fun, because the other thing is that when I'm out somewhere, I don't want to look like everyone else. I want to stand out and be different, but still cute at the same time. So using upcycled fashions allows me to do that. So that's a lot of fun. And then for acting, I am part of a few different podcasts using my voice for the characters. I am in one called Generation Z, which is a modern sci-fi story about zombies and
Wow.
also people who are alive. And it's far in the future. And I play the main character, whose name is Samantha. She's a teenager. She's about 17. And then I also play the president's wife, and the actor who they decided to do the president is a friend of mine, and he did it with a Southern accent. So the producer said, hey, why don't you since he's Southern, you should be Southern too. So I get to use sort of a soft, very gentle Southern accent for my character Charlotte. And then he's got another one that's called Gathgarn the Unfurnished, and it's kind of like a Lord of the Rings fantasy with all these strange characters. And I am playing a warrior woman who she fights with a sword. And so she's a lot of fun. She's kind of no nonsense, doesn't let anyone, mess around, and she's tough. So she's a lot of fun to do. And then I also have my own podcasts. One of them is called Fashion Review, and it's a take on that show Fashion Police that Joan Rivers used to be on. And so it's myself as the host. I do all the voices. And then I have three panelists who are British, Russian, and Southern. and they are the panelists who review the celebrity fashions on the red carpet. And it's really funny when they don't like somebody's outfit.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really funny. And then because I love movies so much, and I feel that I can offer sort of an insider scoop on it, I go to the Santa Barbara Film Festival a lot and get to see a lot of really fun movies there. And so I started another podcast called Movie Review with Deborah Cristobal. And that is my take on movies that I love, and giving people some of the inside scoop if I find out some of the background about how they made something, or something that happened on set as they were filming. For me, I love the background scoop of something, how it came to be, or if there's something that the audience wouldn't necessarily know of just by reading the normal press releases or things, normal kind of articles. I like to find out if something unusual happened, or if there's some kind of fun scoop on the actor or the sets or the costumes or any, things like that. So, yeah.
cool. So there's a lot of information out there. That's really, really great. I'm curious about, let's talk about one thing at a time
All
about
right.
your fashion. So
Okay.
how do you actually express yourself when it comes to, you mentioned about fashion as a way to express yourself,
Yeah.
and curious about that.
Okay. Well, my what do I want to say? I guess my style is eclectic. I love all kinds of different things. I'm right now. I'm kind of very obsessed with a technique called ruching, and ruching is like, those big Cinderella ball gowns or wedding gowns, and they have uh-oh, they have
Wait, how do you spell ruching? R-C-H,
ruching.
uh-huh.
And you see it in a lot of bridal gowns. It's where they pick up the fabric, where they pinch the fabric, and it makes kind of a poof. And if you have a
Uh-huh.
whole bunch of little ruching spots, it kind of creates scallops, kind of swags and things like that. And because I really don't like hemming a garment, and I always, pretty much always have to because I'm petite. Um, I've found that ruching is a way to make something fit you and also bring up the length of a garment without having to hem it, because you're just pinching the fabric and stitching it by hand, and it creates these beautiful lines. And um, you have to have a lot of fabric though, so something has to be pretty large or pretty long for you to use this technique. But it's really fun, and I've done a bunch of different fashions using that technique. And for instance, I got this one gown at a thrift store, and it was mint green, probably from the 30s. It was a velvet, and this mint green looked terrible on me. It just was a horrible color on me, even though the color itself is very pretty. So I thought, okay, I think I'm going to dye it. So I dyed it and made it this gorgeous dusty pink. And then the dress itself was super long. It was probably about 3 or 4 feet too long for me. And I thought a straight hem is just going to be really dull on this dress. And so I just started playing with it, and I ruched it all over, and I made the skirt shorter in the front, and then I graduated it and made it longer in the back, probably almost to my ankles in the back, and then in the front it's above my knees, kind of a mini length. And it is so cool. It came out really neat, and it still looks vintage because the color, it's kind of a like a berry, um, dusty pink berry color, and it really looks like I got it out of my grandma's attic or something. And it's
Wow.
yeah, it's really cool. So that's the kind of stuff I love to do. And this other time, I had this fabric. Sometimes what I'll do is when I find something that I love at the thrift store, I'll just buy it because I love it so much. But sometimes I don't get to use it right away, so it'll go into my little storage or whatever. And I'm kind of a fabric hoarder, and I have like a bunch of different fabrics that I love. And there was this one piece. It was Indian sari fabric, and it was, oh, it's so pretty. It was sort of like a rainbow color of sari fabric. And I thought, what do I want to make with this? And I just sat there for years. And then I had been in a film and we were going to do a red carpet and everything. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can make a really cool skirt out of this fabric. And it was about 4.5 yards of fabric, which is quite a lot. And so I stitched it. I started pinning it because my vision was I wanted it to be like a cloud. I wanted it to sort of float. And so I just kind of sectioned the fabric off, and then I just started pinning it to myself. And oh my gosh, that skirt, it's one of my favorites. It literally looks, because it's mainly pink with kind of some blue and yellow, and then it's got a gold border. It's just gorgeous. And it looks kind of like cotton candy. It's kind of swirly and full and very whimsical, and I love it. It's just super cool. And then I needed a top to go with it. And so I was running out of time because I was literally working on this thing during the night of the party. So I found I had this kind of blue colored strapless bra, and also some fabric that was silk and kind of in a similar color. So I just wrapped it around the bra and just kind of started draping it, and I made a little strapless top to go with the skirt, and it is really a cool outfit. So and it was unlike anything that was there because a lot of people were wearing black and different other colors. So it really stood out because it was really bright and of course custom made. So um, that's one of the things I love about creating, is that it's always going to be different. Nobody else is going to have your same outfit. And it also has your stamp of what you love. And I guess my style is soft, feminine, um, and sort of whimsical and fun. So, yeah.
Interesting. Soft, feminine, whimsical. That's your style. But the bold color is very, very. Is that you consider it as whimsical or feminine or something a little bit out of the ordinary?
Um, and also, definitely attention grabbing for sure.
Like to,
Definitely.
got it. So you like to get attention. Got it.
I think that's probably one of the reasons why I love acting. Because you do hear about some people that are really shy who are actors and stuff because they can kind of be somebody else. And I'm already, you know, out there as far as personality wise, if I'm out with people or that kind of thing. But it it is really fun because you do get to express maybe other parts of yourself that you wouldn't express maybe in your real life, you know, and or maybe you're forbidden to act certain ways in your real life. And so to be able to do that on stage or in a film or whatever the medium is really fun. And you get to meet a lot of cool people, and it's just, it's sort of like playing, like when you were a kid and you were playing whatever game you were playing, um, that is what it's like kind of on a grander scale.
Got it. Got it. Cool.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about more your acting part now. You mentioned a lot of voiceovers. Can
Yes.
Can I hear some of the voice that you do? It just seems very interesting. You play like a Generation Z, a
Yeah,
17-year-old, then you play like the one with a southern accent, then you
yeah,
play a warrior woman, just a
yeah.
lot of different things.
Okay, cool. Then, okay, for Samantha, you know, she's really young, so I kind of pitch my voice up a little bit. Really? Seriously? Is this what you're meaning? No, forget it. So she's kind of young and, you know, she's tough because she's running away because people are trying to get her. And then Charlotte is the president's wife. She has a little girl, a little baby, so she's very gentle. Marie, you know, I'm so happy to see you. Mommy loves you so much. And then Imadi is my warrior woman character, and she's like, no, we will go no further on this expedition. And if I hear of anyone having talking back and causing problems, they will get my sword right now. You know. And my fashion review girls are really fun. I named them. See if you can see the trend on their names. So there is Irina Aquaskaya. Hello, darlings. You know, my favorite color is black because you can go from funeral to disco in one visit. No need for other colors. It is perfect as it is. And then the next girl is Lady Penelope Mauve. Darlings, my favorite color is periwinkle. It is such a gentle, sweet color, and yet I like it because it is not common and you don't see it too many places, but it is very ladylike, very classy, and it sort of brings out the complexion. And then Daisy, her name is Marguerite Daisy Crimson. Hi, y'all. Well, my favorite color is pink. And I also love sparkles and anything shiny because I think that you cannot be dressed without shiny and sparkly things. And also, a red lip is absolutely necessary. You cannot leave the house without a red lip, or else you are just too pale. And so that's Daisy. And it is so much fun to do these voices because you are someone else. And when I'm writing the episodes about the fashions, um, it's really fun to pick out which character is going to be talking about which outfit. And so I kind of gear it towards each character's taste. And, you know, like what would Arena like? What would Daisy like? And so I gear it towards their aesthetic and their style. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then the other podcast that I started doing is the movie reviews. And because I see so many movies and there are lots that I love to tell people about, whether they're current in the theaters now or ones that I've seen a long time ago, it's always fun to give my take on it. And so that's what I do. And that one just started, so it's brand new. I just have a few episodes out right now, but I'll just keep adding on to them as time goes by.
Wow, it seems like you have a lot of different things going on. How do you actually manage the time?
Well, what I do is so that I'm not recording all the time over at my voiceover producer's studio, I'll kind of like when he gets the new stories in, the new scripts in, what I'll do is I'll make sure and write my own shows um, so that I'm not just recording one or two things. It kind of gives me the push to hurry up and write something new so that when I'm over there recording Generation Z or Gafgarn, that I also have my own shows that I'm also recording. And then one of the new things that I just went out for a voiceover role that's going to be pitched to Hulu next.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm super excited about that. And so I actually, normally when I do a voiceover audition, I'll just record it on my phone because, it's just for them to hear my voice. But because this was such a very high powered pitch, I thought, okay, I have access to my producer's studio, and why not go over there and have him record it? So that's what I did, and I'm so glad that I did. And so he created those files for me, and I got those sent off and everything. And so it was just really fun. And one of the voices that I did is one that he has not heard before. And she also had a British accent, but she's kind of dreamy, kind of, let's see, kind of, well, I believe when I create something, it should be very, very airy, and it shouldn't be too heavy. And so that is my philosophy on the matter. And so she's definitely kind of younger and more kind of more out there, and kind of what's that word I want to say? Definitely into the design world. And so he really liked that voice, and he said, "Oh, I want you to use that voice on an upcoming character." So I said, "Yeah, sure." So I don't know what the role will be in the coming probably new podcast. And he's getting new ones all the time. He's taking submissions, and so authors can just send him stuff. And so he's gotten some new ones, and he uses like a regular group of us actors to give the roles life, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank
So I'm
you.
curious now, what are some of the challenges and the easiness that happens in your industries, both in the fashion area as well as in the voiceover acting arena?
Okay. Well, for fashion, you know, I've generally just sort of been my own advertisement, just wearing things like if I am out and about, or I'm in this group. It's called it's part of the Santa Barbara Trust for Historic Preservation, and it's actually an Asian History Committee. And every year we put on an Asian American film series. And
Cool.
yeah, it's really fun. You should come up sometime if you're available. It's the 4 Fridays in July. And so we have 4 screenings of different films, and it's basically with Asian casts of different types of Asians, whether they be Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Korean, Indian. And so we invite the public to come. It's free, and every occasion gives me a boost of, okay, you've got all these things sitting in your closet. Some of them have not been touched or worn, because they need to be fixed or whatever. So that always gives me a push to hurry up and fix something. And so and I love dressing up. I treat it like an LA film premiere. And so I will take some of my vintage things and fix them up and hem them or fit them or whatever needs to be done. And then I wear them along with lots of jewelry and fun accessories to really dress it up. And it's really a lot of fun. And then I always, if I can find someone to take some photos of me, I'll have some pictures taken, and then I post them to my Instagram. And so that's kind of right now how I'm showcasing my fashions. And if I'm somewhere like a friend and I always go to the fair. We go to the Ventura Fair and the Santa Barbara Fair, and I always try to come up with something really fun to wear and stuff. And he likes taking pictures, So he'll take a bunch of pictures of me, and then I post those to my Instagram. So right now, as far as exposure for my own personal fashion or my own style, um, that's how it's done right now, just via Instagram. Or if I'm out and about and somebody, like sometimes when I'm wearing an outfit, somebody will say, oh, I really like your leggings, or I like your necklace, or whatever it is. And then they'll just start chatting with me or whatever. And so that also happens too, which is really fun. But I think it'd be fantastic to do like a line of leggings and have them, you know, be pitching them on QVC or something, and you know, be on there talking about my line of knitwear or leggings or whatever, and do that. I think that would be really, really fun. And then as far as acting goes, um, for a while I was auditioning for commercials down in LA, and that was a lot of fun and a real education too. I had really, really good training from a fantastic coach who's here in Santa Barbara, but he used to be on the East Coast, and he actually taught Julianne Moore when she was in college, and she still uses his techniques to break down her script and to craft her characters, because it's a very comprehensive method of character is, and also breaking down your script, which is really important to figure out, you know, what am I doing here, what's happening, and how am I going to play this character. And so right now, I'm not currently going out for live auditions in LA right now, but I still am auditioning with for voiceover, just sending a file, and live theater here in my area, which is really fun. Last year, I did a really fun. It was a musical, and it was a film noir type. It was called Cafe Noir, and it was up in Orchid, which is a little bit north of Santa Barbara. And I got to play this. It was the plot was this sleazy guy who was kind of a gigolo-ish kind of character. He dies at the beginning, and everybody on this little Caribbean island is a suspect. And of course, there's lots of women, there's men, everybody is a suspect. And I play this woman, this island woman who who has a little bit of a past, and her parents were kind of iffy. And anyway, we got to sing also, and so I had a really fun song, kind of a sexy song, and it was a dinner show, and people were seated at different tables all around the room, so I got to go around and flirt with all the men as I'm singing. It was so much fun, and it was a blast with the other characters and everything. And so doing that is a lot of fun, and having my voiceover roles online with the network that all these podcasts are on. It's called Chronosphere Fiction, and so all those titles that I was telling you about, Generation Z, Garn, my shows, fashion review and movie review, are on that channel. So you can find us there if you ever want to listen to those. So right now, my exposure, probably the most exposure I'm getting right now, is from the podcasts, because it's basically like an online resume. Because people, if ever I run across somebody and they say, hey, what does your Southern accent sound like? Or what does your British accent sound like? Or whatever, I say, okay, you can just go listen to the shows. And then another thing that's kind of new is that here in Santa Barbara, we have this performance called Speaking of Stories. And I had auditioned for it a few times, and last holiday season I got in. And
Nice.
yeah, it was really fun. And I had written this story, and it's geared kind of bent towards Asians, of course. And it was called Happy Sad New Year. And so this performance, it's all these actors or storytellers or writers, and they write a true story about themselves. And this was having to do with the holidays. And so mine was about growing up in Morro Bay, my hometown, and seeing these Japanese movies from Japan as a little kid and hating the sad endings. And because I'm American, I want my Disney endings,
Ah,
I want the happy endings. And I hated those depressing endings. And then how over time I became to really appreciate Asian cinema and Japanese films in particular, and really appreciate the sad endings. And so people loved it. It was so much fun. We got to perform for 2 nights, and there was 10 of us. What she does is she splits it up, so there's 2 different performances, or actually 2 different groups of people, and each of us have 2 performance. There's 2 performances for each group. And so they've called for more stories. They do it, I think, 2 or 3 times a year. And so I've written another one, or kind of modified one, that I had written time ago, made it a little longer and added a few more things into it. So I'm going to submit that one for her springtime Speaking of Stories, and this one's just called Personal Stories. And so I have to submit it in a day or two, and hopefully get to perform it, because it's really funny. It's called My Dad the Big Flirt, and because
wow.
the big flirt. And anyway, it's really fun, and I've been having a lot of fun writing it, and thinking about it. And so now that I've been in the group, a lot of the people are regulars. They've been in there several times, been in it like 5 different times. And so I think once you're in, of course, it's probably a lot easier to get in again, because now she knows she can trust you and go through all the rehearsals and all those things that you have to do. So I think chances will be a little bit easier the next time. So our deadline is Monday to submit the stories. So I just have a couple more little tweaks on it and stuff, and then I'll submit it, and I'll let you know if I get in.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So to kind of want to summarize what we talked about during the end of the show is, from your perspective, is that you do both two things. One is the fashion, one is the acting. And then on the fashion side, you're focused more on a soft, feminine, whimsical, attention-grabbing style. And then with acting, you do a lot of different things, such as voiceover with playing a southern accent, warrior, a young kid, a British accent, Russian accent, many, many different ones.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, all of it together is I really love to be someone um, else in some sense through the avenue of voice and fashion. And then you also mentioned that to get there, it takes a lot of effort with trainings, your own advertisements, but ultimately you gotta have fun doing it. So am I missing anything?
No, I think you really hit it right on the head, because that is really true. I think growing up as an Asian girl, and even though I'm American, um, there's a lot of unspoken things that are passed down to us girls. We were sort of we are taught to always be nice, always be smiling, be polite, almost like a little Stepford child. And that's all well and good, but it's not very human when it comes to really expressing yourself. And it was through acting and learning how to act that I feel like I was able to sort of let more of those things out into the open. because, um, people may not want to admit it, but the things that some of us are taught really are repressive. And but they can't help it because that has been what's been passed down through their parents and whatever. And so I didn't even know how sort of held back emotionally that I was until I started exploring all these things with acting. And then as far as fashion, the same thing. Um, when I was a kid, I remember we were going to a wedding, and my mom had she had picked out this horrific blue, red, and white plaid dress to wear to this wedding, and I really did not want to wear it. I just thought, oh, it's just not me. I really wanted to wear something like bold and with a cute print. And she said, well, if you don't wear this dress, you're not going. And I just thought, oh, great. So I'm forced to wear this yucky dress that I don't even like. And so I think you're right. I think that my fashion sense is sometimes to break out of that conservative shell of looking like everybody else and being really, really safe. And that's why I love bright colors and sort of almost things that people might describe as a little bit kooky. And I don't mind it. Um, Sometimes when I'm out and I'm looking at things, something will catch my eye, and it's because it makes me laugh. I mean, like this necklace. Oh, this isn't the one I was thinking of. But just things that are. I have this other little necklace that has a picture of a lady on it, like the artist drew this picture of a lady on it, and it just really struck me. It's just kind of funny, and so that is just what I'm drawn to. It's kind of like my natural instinct is to just go for these things that are just different, kind of quirky, and sort of off the beaten path. Not to say that I can't dress up and look elegant and refined and things like that if the occasion needs it. But if it's not a super dressy occasion, if it's just like normal everyday stuff, or I'm going to the movies, or I'm going somewhere fun and I don't have to worry about what anybody's thinking, I will definitely wear very fun things. So that, and one of my best friends in the world, she used to say, your clothes say so much about you. And especially you, because you really put a lot into it, and you add your funny touches to them. So I think that's really true. And I
Cool.
think you're absolutely right.
Cool. So how can people reach you if they want to get to you? Kind of mentioned, right? Just kind of want to summarize how can people reach you?
Yes. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is at Deb Etoile, and that's DEB, like Deborah, and then Etoile, ETOILE. That means star in French. And then my Facebook, they can just look me up by my name,
Okay.
Deborah Cristobal. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Deborah.
All right. Thanks, George. It was really fun.
Yeah, same here.